Welcome to the Lead Lab, where we unpack the real, human side of leadership, not the textbook version, but the version you live through every day. And today, we're talking about something subtle, but defining. You give a task. It starts going sideways. And your instinct kicks in: take over. Fix it. Get it back on track. At a glance, it feels like leadership. But what if it isn't? What if what we call leading is actually controlling, and the difference between the two is the difference between short-term output and long-term growth? Let's sit with that for a moment. Control and leadership often look similar from the outside. But from the inside, where culture forms, where people grow, they couldn't be more different. Control is about reducing risk. It's about knowing every piece, every outcome, every step. Leadership is different. Leadership is about creating space. Space for ownership. Space for input. Space for others to grow. This isn't theoretical. It shows up in the data and in real teams. Teams led through control might perform, yes. But they wait for permission. They hesitate to speak up. They play it safe. And in time, they stop growing, not because they aren't capable, but because there's no room to try. Contrast that with a team led with trust. They take initiative. They offer ideas. They don't just do the job, they evolve in it. That kind of team doesn't just complete tasks, they build capacity. And it starts with the leader. Not in how much you do, but in how much space you give. That means you don't jump in at the first sign of discomfort. You don't rewrite every slide deck. You don't hold on to decisions that someone else is ready to make. That doesn't mean stepping back entirely. It means stepping into the right conversations, the ones that clarify direction, that offer feedback, that remove barriers, but leave room for others to act. The difference between control and leadership becomes even clearer when pressure enters the room. Under stress, control tightens. It says, "Let me handle this. Let's not risk anything." Leadership, in contrast, slows down. It says, "Let's pause. Let's involve others. Let's build a solution together." The research backs this up. Teams that feel safe to speak up, even when things go wrong, consistently outperform. They innovate more. They stay longer. They solve faster. Because they aren't afraid of being shut down. They're not managing around the leader. They're working with them. That's the cultural effect of leadership. And it's measurable. When control dominates, culture becomes cautious. But when leadership is practiced, culture becomes courageous. This is also personal. Because control isn't just about the team, it reflects something in the leader. Sometimes, it's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of looking incompetent. Fear of losing relevance. And so we hold tighter. But in doing so, we often hold people back. Real leadership is the opposite. It requires letting go. Not of responsibility, but of the need to own every step. It means trusting others enough to carry the mission forward, even if their way isn't your way. And yes, they'll make mistakes. But they'll learn from them. And the next time, they'll lead it better. And if we're honest, that's the real test of leadership, isn't it? Not whether they succeed with you present, but whether they can succeed when you're not. So if you're asking yourself, am I letting? Or am I controlling? That's not weakness. That's awareness. And that's where leadership begins. Thanks for being here. If this gave you something to reflect on, something to practice, share it. And if you're here to lead with more clarity and less grip, subscribe. Because real leadership doesn't try to hold everything. It builds people who can carry it with you, and eventually, beyond you.